Absolutely be glad to bring Dean on the program. We've got our special guest with us. He is a former UFC vet, Ultimate Fighter Season 4 competitor, and soon he will be fighting for Shine Fights against the aforementioned Ricardo Mayorga. He is De Niro, Dean Thomas. He's with us on Shambala Sports Radio. Dean, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, guys? How is everything?
It's an absolute honor to have you on the show tonight, Dean. Thank you very much for coming with us.
Man, it's my pleasure.
So as we were talking about, we were going off on Mayorga and some of his training practices. What are you looking at going into this fight? What do you think you need to do to just completely introduce him to mixed martial arts?
Well, one is I got to stay away from his wild hands. I mean, you know, he's got some wild hands, and he punches from different angles, so it's always a mystery of where he's going to punch from. But, you know, regardless of whether they're wild or not, he can crack, you know. So, you know, I got to stay away from his hands and just can't let his hands get on me. And then if I can do that, anything else is, you know, I can win any way I want, you know, really. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if he doesn't know anything about MMA, you know, it could be a relatively easy fight for me as long as I stay away from his big punches.
Now, Dean, when you were first approached with the possibility of fighting Mayorga, was there any reluctance with you following what happened to Tim Sylvia against Ray Mercer?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I think what happened with Tim Sylvia was, you know, I think it was pretty much Tim's fault. I think Tim came in way out of shape. He didn't, you know, and Tim and I are two different. I mean, Tim he's a bit slow, and he's kind of a sitting target. He's kind of always been like that. So, I mean, you know, he walked in straight for Ray Mercer to hit him. And that's not what I'm going to do. I mean, it's a good lesson learned for me to watch that fight and go, you know what, I don't want to do this. So, you know, I think he set the blueprint on how not to fight a boxer.
Absolutely. Now, Dean, when you were approached with this fight and you seemed like you accepted it with open arms, what was your initial game plan? What's your game plan now heading into this fight with Mayorga?
Well, I don't want to disclose too much, but let's just say, you know, a lot of people are you know, saying, you know, just take him down. But, you know, for me, I don't think that that's necessarily the answer. I think that, you know, he lacks a lot of things on his feet that he doesn't understand about mixed martial arts. I mean, he hasn't ever had to deal with kicks before or knees or even from that clinch range. I mean, in boxing, let's face it, when you get clinched in boxing, the ref comes in and breaks you up. You know, he doesn't have to worry about anybody pulling his head down and things like that. So these are some of the things that I've been working on in my camp in order to expose him and welcome to the world of MMA.
You speak of kicks. I'm now thinking of, you know, the Jose Aldo Uriah Faber fight. I mean, are you going to basically mentally, you know, paint a big giant target on his thigh?
Well, yeah, I think his whole body, really. I mean, he's never been kicked anywhere. So you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, his thigh, inside, outside, you know, body, head, like all those are you know, prime targets for me to shoot at. So, you know, I'm just going to go out there and take advantage of all the opportunities that I have, you know, from all different areas, you know, because these are things that he's not used to looking at.
Now, Dean, there's been a lot of talk coming from the Mayorga camp that, you know, let's face the facts. It seems like he's been taking a lackadaisical approach to this fight, smoking cigarettes, you know, not seemingly knowing what he's getting himself into with this fight. Does that make you even more motivated to want to go out there and prove this guy wrong?
No, you know what? Like, you know, honestly, you know, I hope. Like, I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, I kind of hope. I mean, really, I hope it's true. But in a sense, like, I can't believe it though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe a professional athlete, would take that approach to a fight. So I can't believe that. I can't sit there and say, yeah, I've been smoking, I don't care about this fight, and then absolutely believe it. I think he may be using that in order to, you know, get in my head and make me feel like that he has been, you know, been doing those type of things. But I can't believe it. I feel like that he has been doing his homework and he's been training and he's probably got jiu-jitsu guys down there that he's been working with, and you know, so I've been treating this fight like I would treat any other fight.
Now there is various dramas going on with the press conference. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, you know, coming from an MMA background, you know, you're not really used to dealing with, you know, a bunch of loudmouths like that. You know, I mean, especially coming from the UFC where Dana White and them are actually, you know, when you're dealing with like the press with the UFC, they're always like pushing you to talk and pushing you to talk bad about your opponent. And sometimes, guys can't say a bad thing about their opponent. And, and then, going over now to fighting a boxer where, this guy has no problem with, saying whatever he wants. So, like, for me, that was a very different experience to be involved in a type of, or be in that environment where this guy is just so belligerent and loudmouth. It reminded me of some street stuff. I was about to go to the trunk.
Get the baseball bat, get the tire iron, have a little fun.
for some reason, he calls himself El Matador. I don't think that's one bull he wants to mess with.
Yeah, no kidding.
And actually, this is the actual final question before we let you go. I like to ask people why they do what they do. So why do you fight? Why did you choose this? Of punching somebody in the head or getting punched in the head or kicking or why was this a career choice for you?
It was. I'll tell you the truth. It was never really a career choice for me. It was almost like it just kind of fell into my lap. I mean, the one thing that I was captivated by this whole genre is the jiu-jitsu. So when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I was just totally captivated by it. Then I just kind of started fighting just because, like, somebody asked me to do it. And then I had the opportunity to do it. And then I said I didn't want to turn it down, so I did it. And then, one thing led to another. Next thing I know, I was fighting, I was fighting in Jacksonville Valley Tudo. Next thing I know, I'm fighting Kyle Uno in Japan. Next thing I know, I'm fighting BJ Penn in the UFC. And then one thing leads to another. Now I'm fighting Ricardo Mayorga for Shine. So it was never really a career choice. It was just a matter of having an opportunity to make a difference and make a change and do something larger than what most people are doing.